Bits in Beyblade X will ultimately determine whether or not you're going to win or lose in competitive play or even casual play. With now well over 24 different bits and variations, what are the best bits to use in Beyblade X? Today we're going to be diving into the top 10 best Beyblade X bits and why they remain at the top of the Beyblade X meta. So let's get right to it. But before we jump into the 10 best Beyblade X bits, if you're wanting to get any of these bits, be sure to go check out malloftoys.com, sponsor of this channel. Now they have everything you need to get started with Beyblade X, from launchers to stadiums and to the latest releases of Beyblade X, including the pre-orders of the all-new Soul Eclipse. Just make sure you guys use code LessSpinBase2 at checkout to knock off 5% of that total cost of yours in the end. That is malloftoys.com. So starting things off at number 10, we have Kick. Kick is an all new balance type bit that mixes two powerful balance type bits into a single bit. Fresh from its release, Kick proved itself to be highly effective in competition with a wide array of viable combos that could be used with it. Kick has a unique shape and design that dramatically affects its performance, taking the best of both taper and hexa. Now the shape of the tip is cut and tapered down into a hexagonal shape, which gives Kickbit some insane speed and agility. Now apart from the design, when bays equipped with the Kickbit are pushed up to the extreme line, it takes to its given name of Kick and pushes off the extreme line to deliver a powerful counter attack. Kick is found in with the Hell's Reaper random booster set, and up until Hasbro's release of Hell's Reaper, Kick starts to list off as one of the most expensive competitive bits in the game with the least amount of reprints. Now Kick has many viable and powerful combos, including combos with Hover Wyvern, Hell's Reaper, Tyranno Beat, Phoenix Swing, and many others. Kick starts things off strong here in the top 10 best Beyblade X bits. And now we have at number 9, we have Point. Now, Point has been a part of the meta since day one of its release with Leon Claw, and is still being used very highly in the competitive field. It is one of the most popular balance type bits in Beyblade X due to its stamina and its stability, alongside its speed and hyper aggressive attack power that could rival even that of the flat bit in terms of just raw power. The Point bit comes with a wide variety of releases in Beyblade X with Hasbro collaboration bays and random boosters as well. Now, this was honestly a toss-up between Taper and Point for this slot in the top 10 best Beyblade X combos, so the decision to pick Point over Taper was a bit of a struggle. However, the decision came down to the consistency of Point versus the consistency of that of Taper. Point is far more consistent than Taper. Now, this does not mean that Taper is a bad bit by any means. It is still widely used, but slowly fading in terms of usage in the competitive field. But that will now bring us to our number 8 spot, which is going to be that of Wedge. Now, Wedge surprised many as being the first meta bit for the defensive type bays. For defense fans like myself, this was a bit worth celebrating. Despite the slim chicken leg appearance, Wedge has insane stability and stamina. Some builds that use Wedge can completely outspin the infamous Wizard Rod on ball. But what makes this bit even better is it is one of the 3 bits in Beyblade X with a 10 gear ratio. The lower gear ratio on the bit allows for Wedge to reserve stamina when forced onto the extreme line to deliver a counter attack. Where most defensive bits fail is when they are forced onto the extreme line and perform an extreme dash, which sucks up a massive amount of stamina, taking away from their stability and their ability to be able to parry off the remaining attacks from their opponent. Wedge was released earlier this year in 2025 with Perseus Dark, as well as the recolored white version from the CX-04 Stadium set. So far, those are the only 2 Wedge bits released and the only ways to really obtain this bit. Now, I love Wedge, and it works amazing with Tricera Press, Golem Rock, Phoenix Swing, and even the all-new Shark Scale, alongside with a wide variety of other combos frequently used in the competitive scene, including Samurai Caliber as well. Now, Wedge is by far the best defensive bit in Beyblade X, and a bit not to really sleep on. So now coming in at number 7, we have the all-new Underflat bit. With only having been released for a couple weeks now, Underflat changes the game for attack types. With heavier defense types in the game, stronger stamina types, and even better balance types, the attack types in Beyblade X sort of got left behind with only a few mediocre releases for its typing when it comes down to the bits. Attack type bits definitely took the short straw in all of this, but Shark Scale did change the game for attack types with this bit. Now I did rank this bit a bit lower because it is essentially a smaller version of the XL bit. This bit does hit hard and is exceptionally fast. Equipped with the right bait, it can easily snipe any ratchet. However, if countered just right, or if it fails to end the battle early on, the underflat bit does run out of stamina faster than even the flat bit does. Underflat does do a whole lot better than the XL bit and even turbo, so it can keep fighting later on in the game with a slightly better chance of the end game knockouts and bursts. Currently, however, underflat is only available through the deck set, so it is locked in there for now. Bits and bays that are locked in deck sets usually get a reprint around 6 to 8 months after the initial release, so a cheaper alternative may be available sometime in the year 2026 at the latest. But aside from all of that, underflat is a bit worth checking out that could bring back just about any attack type blade back into tournament viability. And now we are at the top 6 best Beyblade X bits. This is where things got a bit tight when it came down to ranking the best bits in Beyblade X. Each one remaining are bits that are every top ranked blader in the Beyblade community has in their decks. So to break it down, I had to base things off weaknesses, strengths, stamina, overall power, viable combos, win ratio against meta and non-meta, a ground total of about 6.5 hours just to figure out the order of these bits. So starting things off at top 6, we have Hexa. Hexa is a balance type bit that is often mistaken for a defensive type bit due to its passive aggressive counter-strike design. It is most famously used on Silver Wolf and even at times preferred on Wizard Rod over Ball. It is highly popular to be used with Golem Rock as well. Now, destabilizing a bait equipped with Hexa is highly difficult since the design makes for it to turn highly aggressive when it gets tilted on the axis, giving the equipped bait a nasty, super fast extreme dash where it can often correct its stability afterwards. Hexa is a 16 gear bit with a wide circumference which aids in the stability over any other bit. Now, the most popular combination is with the 760 ratchet. So Hexa can be used with almost every blade in the game, making them perform far better than their stock combo forms. Now, there are a few re-releases of the Hexa bit since it has come out originally with Hell's Hammer. It was released in the Ghost Circle Random Booster set as well as with the Blue Phoenix Wing in both the Hasbro and Takara Tomy release. Accessibility of Hexa is far better than most other bits on this list at a cheaper price. Hexa is yet another must-have bit, especially if you're getting into competition and wanting to win some events and tournaments for yourself. Next up at number 5, we have Low Rush. No, you heard that right, Low Rush. Low Rush is a groundbreaking attack type bit similar to Underflat. However, it does carry far better stamina and allows for the Bey to use and perform multiple extreme dashes with little stamina drain. This is highly beneficial for Beys like Impact Drake and Drum Buster, who rely on the extreme dash to win most of their battles. It is more or less a second and even a third chance for many Glass Cannon Beys. Now, Low Rush was the second bit released with a 10 gear ratio after almost 1 year since the first. Now, there are countless combos running Low Rush in the current meta and the tournament scene. Low Rush is oftentimes one of the first bits competitive players will use when a new base is released while combo testing. Its most popular uses are with the 760 ratchet, 360 and 960 ratchet, bringing the base to a low aggressive stance that are made for knockouts and bursts. Low Rush is easily obtainable through Takara Tomy with the Impact Drake release. However, for Hasbro, it is one of the most expensive competitive bits in the line, locked in the Drop Attack Stadiums release. And that will bring us to our number 4 bit, and that's going to be that of Level. Now, Level is a highly underrated bit. It is the perfect counter and one of the only counters to the infamous Elevate on Dragoon. Now, Level is a 16 gear bit that fuses the 3 main variants of attack type bits into a single bit. Depending on your launch angle, bladers are able to change up how they attack with Level, whether it is with the reserved rush bit style, the more aggressive flat bit style, or even the extremely fast and hard hitting gear flat style. Now, this makes for Level to be highly versatile in strategy and approach when it comes to a battle. It is very adaptable against a wide variety of combos, making it a highly dangerous bit for anyone to face off against. Level is attainable through Samurai Saber and also the latest release with Tyranno Roar. Now, it is more expensive bit to obtain, but the end results and what bladers are able to do with it are endless. Many popular combos using the level bit are with Pegasus Blast, Valkyrie Volt, Samurai Caliber, and even Impact Drake. So if you're looking for a bit with high attack power but with enough endgame stamina to outspin a good portion of the top combos used in the meta, level is the bit that you're going to want. And that will now bring us to our top 3 bits used in Beyblade X, and believe me, it was tough to be able to rank these bits. But a couple of honorable mentions on some solid lower A tier and B tier bits we have are that of Underneedle and Dot. These two defensive type bits are just under Wedge in terms of performance and are able to create some unique defensive builds that perform quite well in the early tournaments. So shout out to both Underneedle and to Dot for not making it onto this list but still kicking some major ass in certain situations in the tournament scene. So on to the top 3 best bits in Beyblade X, with number 3 being that of Elevate. Elevate is another balance type bit mixed with some insane stamina and attack power. Its design is the most unique of all the bits. Elevate's design does make it difficult to be able to use the extreme line, reserving its stamina completely and leaving the stamina drain down to the natural algorithmic decay. But with the hard enough launch or with just enough pushback force from an opponent, Elevate lives up to its name and can attach to the extreme line, but in a unique way where the bit will ascend from the stadium floor just to perform the extreme dash. This further does reserve the stamina of the Bey equipped with Elevate by eliminating the friction entirely. But furthermore, its shape does give it the best LAD of all the bits in Beyblade X. Now, Elevate is one of the most sought after bits in the entirety of Beyblade X, found only with Well Wave in the random booster set in both the original and the yellow color, as well as a rare Bey Get Metal Coat Black Mammoth Tusk. Now, it wasn't until Hasbro's release that Elevate became more widely accessible, but despite that accessibility, Hasbro's release is oftentimes sold out, making it exceptionally difficult to find. But in the end, Elevate is one of the top 3 best bits to have in your arsenal. And now at number 2, we have the Ball bit. Ball was the 3rd ever released bit in Beyblade X and the oldest and longest running bit in the meta present day. Ball is a stamina type bit in its purest form and the base model of all stamina type bits in Beyblade X. Ball offers up a unique blend of movements that allows for the Beys equipped with it to elude heavy attacks from attack types that can often burst the low resistant bit. Its stability is beyond any other stamina and defensive type bit, capable of outspinning just about anything in the game. The Ball bit's biggest counter is that of Elevate, which is the only bit, most particularly equipped with Cobalt Dragoon, that can outspin Ball relatively consistently. But with a harder launch with Beys equipped with Ball, the round shape can become highly aggressive and can be used to deliver heavy attack like maneuvers that can oftentimes overpower Elevate. Ball has multiple releases, originally being released with Wizard Arrow throughout the Beyblade X franchise. It can be found in several random boosters, deck sets, Hasbro collaborations, and exclusives. It is the most accessible and most affordable meta bit in the game. The most popular combos the Ball bit run with are with Wizard Rod on 960 Ball, as well as Silver Wolf, Tyranno Beat, and the all-new Samurai Caliber. Never pass up an opportunity to collect a Ball bit whenever you see one on the shelves. And now we have hit the number 1 spot here in the top 10 best Beyblade X bits. But what are your predictions on statistically the best bit in Beyblade X? We have gone through 9 of the most used bits that have combos that have swept tournaments locally, nationally, and internationally. But there is one bit remaining that has each one of these bits on this list beat in terms of the vast amounts of combos that could be used to sweep tournaments with, stamina, attack power, and even popularity. So comment below your thoughts on the best bit in Beyblade X. And without further ado, the number 1 best bit in Beyblade X is Rush. Now, Ball and Elevate are high contenders for the number 1 spot. However, they do lack the vast amount of combos and use that Rush has, being restricted down to Rod and Dragoon primarily. Rush has the largest library of viable combos in all of Beyblade X, making even stamina and defensive type blades top-notch attackers. Now, the most heated debate in Beyblade X is whether or not Low Rush is better than Rush, but after several polls, discussions, research, Rush still outperforms Low Rush in every category but 2, bursts and knockouts, but not by much. Rush excels in the late game stamina and being able to even outspin several other combos. Rush is also the most used attack bit in the competitive scene and is almost in every top ranked blader's deck. Rush is also one of the harder bits to obtain through Takeratomi, being locked in deck sets, random boosters, the customization set, and now even the new Infinity Stadium. Similar to Elevate, it did become more widely accessible through the Hasbro release of the Green Wizard Rod through the starter pack. Unfortunately, similar to Well as well, finding the Hasbro's Green Wizard Rod is almost impossible to do. Rush is by far the most sought after and most used and most popular bit in all of Beyblade X, and rightfully deserves its place at the #1 spot in the top 10 best Beyblade X bits. Ranking anything in Beyblade X is the hardest thing any creator can do due to its high subjectivity. There are many bits that I personally would have loved to have seen on this list that I had personally high success with, but I do hope that you guys have found this video to be educational and helpful as you make your way through the Beyblade journey. But with over 3 dozen bits and bit variations in the game now, what bits are your favorite bits to use that you have had some amazing success with? Now stay tuned here on Let's Spin Bays because we do have more Beyblade X content in production and coming out soon. So be sure that you have hit that subscribe button and have that bell notification turned on. That way you're not missing out on future videos and future updates. But in the meantime, have yourselves a great morning, day, or night, and I'll catch you in the next video.